Real Estate Ryan here with the Stawasz Group. We are at 1835 Market Street for our Spotlight series. This is Mike Stamm, the owner of Stamm Development Group. We're excited to give you guys a tour of their office, learn a little bit more about Mike and his team and their growing business. You guys aren't going to want to miss this one. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we are on the 6th floor at 1835 Market Street, and I'm here with Mike Stamm, the owner of Stamm Development Group, to learn a little bit more about him and his team and their business, what's going on. Mike, dude, thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
I got started in real estate in 2011. Stamm Development Group went into business in 2015. So it's been a wild 5 years, but it's been a fun journey.
Nice. Okay, so 2011, and what were you doing at that time?
I was rehabbing single-family houses with a prior business partner. We were out in Northwest Philadelphia, so predominantly Germantown, Mount Airy, Chestnut Hill. We had a good thing going for about 4 years, and transition time made sense to kind of go in our own ways. But it's exciting. A lot's changed over the last 9 years in Philadelphia, and it continues to change. So we're excited. We have a 220 unit project about to break ground.
220 units. So here we have someone who started with little single family row homes, right?
Correct.
In Germantown. And how crucial was that to kind of building up to where you guys are now?
I think it was everything. I think the market was so different back then. Coming out of the downturn in 08, 09, there were a lot of foreclosures. There were not nearly as many parties in the industry itself. Banks were less regulated. There were more neighborhood banks. There weren't as many players in the market. So we were a two-man shop at the team, but we did close to 50 houses in a 2-year span.
Nice.
And along the way, we met so many different architects, engineers, general contractors, banks, insurance brokers. And our network went from 2 people to 100 people, and I really think there's so many people that just want to jump into this industry at this point and without walking before running, and I think that's been pivotal towards our success, and it was difficult. There were different structures being such a lean operation back then, but I don't think we would be here in this office with the success we've had to date, without, years of kind of track record, kind of deep in the grassroots of things and really getting to know the industry, the market, what works, the different bankers and such in the area. So it's been fun. We're what I would say a boutique apartment building development firm. So really, 30 to 50 units is our sweet spot on a typical project size. We offer full service development and property management. We do about everything in-house except the actual construction. Our team has kind of everything from a leasing agent to in-house project managers, analysts, punch list mechanics, etc.
Got it. Okay, so as a developer, you're hiring other general contractors to build the projects for you, and you're going out and sourcing the deals and finding them and then hiring them to build it.
Yeah, we are. I think at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what's your expertise? Our expertise is not general construction, right?
Sure.
We might be proficient in it. We might have the ability to help and value engineer, but we're basically an investment bank that does real estate development. And that's what I always say. We're really great at tapping into a network, sourcing debt, equity, working through the land entitlements alongside of our attorneys and such. But I think we do that, the entitlement side, as well as any firm in Philadelphia right now, but we know what we're great at, and we know what, makes sense to contract out to enable us to A, bring projects in, and B, grow and scale organically and have successful projects for both ourselves and our investors. On the for sale side, it's about 20% of our business in a given year. It's a medley of single family houses to, boutique condo buildings, predominantly in that Fairmount area and Graduate Hospital more recently.
Yeah.
And we use, a medley of some of the high performing real estate agent teams, just like yourself. throughout Philadelphia that, know the market really well, and they have the expertise from the retail sales team, and they have a great buyer network, and they've done a really tremendous job for our team. I always say we're a Northwest development firm. So really the Art Museum area through Chestnut Hill. So it picks up East Falls, Roxborough, Manayunk, Germantown, Mount Airy, Chestnut Hill.
Sure.
It's really been our focus. It still is. That's not to say, we do have stuff in Fishtown upcoming, Northern Liberties, Graduate Hospital, some of the other areas. But what's worked well for us is getting tuned into a couple really niche markets and becoming the one or two established development firms there. It's enabled us to A, get deals at a great basis, B, have a great relationship with the different community organizations in the area, 3, being tuned into, what the neighborhood wants, what some of the hot topics and such are, and without that, it's really difficult to navigate, successful project versus not successful project in a given neighborhood. Look, I think we focus on the user experience. And I know that sounds funny to say from a rental and a sale perspective, but when you rent or you buy from us, you're getting a well-designed product. You're getting a high finish, high luxury product at an affordable rate. It's managed well. It's marketed well from a sales perspective. It's very hands-on. We're responsive. People seek user experiences in everything that they do, and I think that's been a key to our success. I think we manage things really, really well, and we manage expectations, we deliver on our promises, and I think that's kind of our brand here at STAMM Development Group. Our team is myself plus 9 others, and everyone's kind of in and out of the field. We do have 2 guys that predominantly are in the field on the project management side, but our team's growing. We have a medley of interns coming in and out of here as well. And kind of like I had mentioned, it kind of ranges from a financial analyst side to operations to leasing, management, project management. And I think we'll continue to grow that team. But we have a really fast-paced environment here, and a very entrepreneurial spirit. So it has to be the right fit. But we're excited.
Awesome. So entrepreneurial spirit, and you've got about 9 employees right now. And are you guys hiring? Are you looking for any positions?
Yeah, we're always hiring, as our company continues to grow. I don't think I think when people present resumes that are an absolute fit, I think in a growing organization, you find space for them naturally, because I think the intangibles they can add to your team if they're the right male or female, so I think we're always hiring. I don't think we're in a position where we need to force anything. We have a team that, although is 9 or 10 people, the output is disproportionate to the staff we have. We have a really high performing team, really driven, motivated, and that's the key to our success, and it's always been. They're all special for a different reason. It's really fun to create something. At the end of the day, you're standing on the rooftop, and you look back 18 months and you were looking in front of a computer and reviewing floor plans and stuff. So I think that the vision of creating something is always such a unique thing. But I think this Scotts Lane project that we have upcoming, that's our 220 unit one. It's not my favorite because it's the largest. I think there was so much complexity to this transaction. We negotiated for the better part of a year. We're a really young staff. It was owned by one of the biggest Philadelphia-based private equity firms. I think the ongoing, complexity of the negotiations, the involvement of city council, the intensity of the land use attorneys and such on both sides of the transaction, just our team's ability to navigate that, and we got it so close to the finish point to where we're about to pull the trigger, and then COVID hit, and just our ability to kind of weather the storm during that and really focus in as a team and weigh the ups and downs and the pricing differences on it, and ultimately we reached a settlement, and we're through zoning here at this point, and You know, it's a really exciting project. I think it's going to take our firm to a new level, and you know, there's not many firms, you know, performing at this new level, and I think it's an exciting time for us, and
Yeah.
I think it'll be an exciting addition to Philadelphia.
Sweet. And where can you reveal where this project is located?
Yeah,
Or what
it's in
neighborhood?
East Falls.
East Falls.
Yeah, it's in East
Okay.
Falls.
So 220 units. Any commercial space or all residential?
It's no commercial.
Okay.
It's 4 detached buildings, kind of almost like a college campus ground.
Nice.
It'll be market rent. We have a 1-to-1 parking to unit ratio.
Sweet.
And just the complexity of the design and the inclusion. You know, we have, you know, arguably the biggest civil engineering firm, structural engineering firms, and so forth, like working on this project. And you know, as a young company and with young staff, you know, we're typically on the phone with people, men and women, double our age that are partners at these, and just our ability to, you know, proficiently navigate those conversations. It's been fun to be a part of. It's been fun to, you know, listen from a staff level. So we're excited.
Sweet. So that project will probably take what, a couple of years, or maybe you'll do it in phases.
Yeah, we're looking to break ground early 2021.
Okay.
You know, so we're trying to get permitting before the abatement and stuff. But probably about a 2-year construction with another year plus of stabilization. But we'll phase it. You know, so
Yeah.
you'll start to see some of our branding and stuff coming out here over the next couple of months.
Yeah. So watch out in East Falls for a big project coming there.
Yeah, look, I think you attested to a number of things, you know, staff, you know, so our team, which you hit on, our network, you know, to any up and coming development firm and or established, I always say to my team, you're only as strong as your network, you know, and I mean that because, you know, whether it's an investor, a banker, an architect, you know, it's who you know on how to position yourself for success.
Sure.
You know, but then you're taking it a step further, it's really, you got to bring it every day. You know, like if you're a startup, effectively we're a startup development firm. We're 5 years into this as STAMM Development Group. You got to ask yourself, you know, every single day there's hurdles. You got to be willing to run through them. You know, there's a specific certain intensity that you have to bring every single day. You have to want to be, if you want to be good, there's a lot of people who are going to be good. If you want to be great, there's a decent amount of people that want to be great. If you want to be elite, you know, it's a 7-day-a-week mindset. You know, that doesn't change, and you know, it's month over month, it's year over year, and you know, it's a rewarding experience, you know, but you have to want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it comes with, you know, a lot of hard work, a lot of success, a lot of hurdles to kind of navigate through, and you know, I think we've done a really tremendous job doing it to date, but you know, in terms of where we are versus where we want to go, we're just getting started. You know, I think like if you grow up playing sports, what are you working towards? You're working towards a championship at the end of the season or the playoffs. So like in business, you know, you're not working towards something. You know, how do you know when to celebrate the wins and, you know, to learn from the losses and the little hiccups on the way? You know, it's not a goals that I set for myself for our team. It's, you know, a collaborative effort between our team. We're literally open it up and we write it on the whiteboard and then we post it out to the thing, and they're a measurable tactic of, you know, things that we should be able to hit, but they're challenges. You know, we put lofty goals, and you know, they're not all hit. I don't want everyone to just think you come out and you go 10 out of 10 on your goals. It's not feasible. You know, you're going to have hiccups along the way. A COVID's going to happen or something. You know, and it's really how you kind of stand strong and, you know, pivot and learn how to upscale. But I think, you know, for us, setting the bar high, you know, and surpassing these goals, you know, it's really a team effort. You know, it's a team mindset, and I think it's something that, like, you know, we've built a brand that I think has gotten recognized in Philadelphia, and I think, you know, part of that is that I think people, you know, we always said, you know, set the standard or the SDG standard. I think setting the bar high on those instances, like, it really runs in tune with our brand. And you know, it's been a fun thing to just kind of do internally, and we review it at the end of the year, and you know, we chalk up what we hit and we don't hit, and you know, we keep things moving. First and foremost, you got to find your passion. You know, like, you know, I think a lot of our success is, I think you have to be passionate about what you do, otherwise it's going to feel like a job. You know, and when you can have fun with something that you're passionate about, like even when it's intense, you have a good bit better success. But to smaller development firms and stuff, take every meeting you can, establish a network, walk before you run. Like it's kind of like riding a bike without training wheels. It's not going to go well the first time, and I always say, you're only as good as your worst deal, and you can't afford to, have a deal go too upside early on in your career, or it's what you're always going to be remembered on, so, take things slow, and really try to, understand what you know and what you don't know. And there's typically people that you can work alongside if you don't know it, and bolster your team, and
get a mentor.
Get a mentor. And I mentor. It's funny. One of my biggest challenges in starting a business is I never had a mentor to kind of like look up to and shoot the shit with. So it's one thing. I take a lot of meetings by smaller firms that contact. I don't do it for monetary sake. I do it just because I never really had that when I was starting it. So like I love taking the meetings and just giving my 2 cents and steering them in the right direction and introducing them to bankers. It's one thing I always say, like I've got stories back in the day where I've showed up at big banks that now we work with, and I showed up with something that was like a $100,000 project, and I went to their head banker. I got a meeting and won up their 6-story building, and I handed it to him. He's like, "This is great. How many of them do you have?" And I said, "1." And he's like, "What do you mean 1?" I was like, "Well, I only have this $100,000 deal." And he's like, "I thought you were buying like 200 of these things." So I got laughed out of this office almost, and you have to take it in stride, like
Sure.
You have to recognize like little losses like that, learn from them, and take it as a chip on your shoulder and keep things moving.
All right, guys, we just wrapped up our Spotlight series at the STAMM Development Group's office. You got to learn a little bit more about their operation and what's going on here in Center City. For more information, reach out to myself or the STAMM team. And that's a wrap on our Spotlight series. We'll see you on the next one.